Welcome back, dudes, to Owl's Arcade. And in this week's episode, we're going to have a look at the mighty Vectrex. Such a cool system, and I think in the last 10 years, it's really come into its own. And I think that is purely down to the Vectfever cart, which was developed as a development kit for people to make new games for the system. And since its release, we've had a whole new library of Vectrex games, and some of the best homebrew games I've ever played have been on the Vectrex. And we're going to have a look at a couple of those a little bit later on. But not only that, it's had a whole new community appear and people creating new controllers for the system. And I believe now I've almost got the perfect arcade setup for the Vectrex. I say almost because there's one controller I'm missing, which is quite expensive. But saying that, I have got a fantastic collection of controllers here, which we're going to have a look at because they make the world of difference. And if you love that era of arcade games, this is the way to go, because arcade cabinets are really expensive and unreliable and quite hard to get hold of, and you have to have the space. But having these controllers, you can still play all of those fantastic arcade games with their unique controller setup. So we're going to have a look at all of those, have a look at some of the homebrew games, and have a quick look at my original collection, because the original collection is quite good. It's quite a small collection. I think it's around about 22 games, a UK set. It's not a lot. I'm still missing a couple of the American ones, Pole Position and Polar Rescue, but they're really expensive. And since I've got the Vectfever cart, I can play those games anyway if I want to. But back in the day, I had a Vectrex, but I didn't have it for very long. In fact, I don't think I was that impressed by it. I had two games. I had Berserk, which is an awesome arcade game, although this version, the original version, doesn't have the synthesized speech. But someone has done a mod for this now. So if you've got the Atari Vox, you can have synthesized speech for Berserk and loads of other games. So that is super cool. That's made all the difference playing this game, because this really, although it is a good game, it was the speech as a kid growing up that blew our minds. It was such a new experience for us, just hearing that synthesized speech. It made all the difference. It made this game very special and stand out amongst all the other games, because no other game was doing it. And Scramble's a fantastic port. It really is. So these two games I had as a kid, but I struggled to find any new games coming out for the Vectrex. I think I got mine from Woolworths, and every time I went into that shop, it would just be these two games on the shelf. I didn't see any new releases coming out. So in the end, I think I just got bored of it and sold it on. I don't know what happened to it, to be honest with you, but it went. And it was only until I got back into collecting as a hobby in my later years, that I got all these back and started collecting the original collection again, delving into a library that I never got a chance to as a kid. And when I started that, the Vectfever cart appeared, and now you've got the Pytrex, which is a much cheaper and more readily available option. It makes this system, well, it makes it a new system. It's got games on it that you wouldn't believe could run on the system back in the day. So we're going to have a look at all those games, have a look at the controllers, and have a look at my setup, because it's really, really cool, guys. So the first game we're going to look at and its controller is for Tempest, a classic arcade game by Atari, designed by Dave Toyer, who's an absolute legend. It is one of my favourite arcade games of all time, no question about it. It's just one of those games that takes you somewhere else, and you really have to be in the zone to get really good at it. But there's no other game like Tempest. It is super cool. The artwork is amazing. The vector graphics are probably at their pinnacle. back in the day, you know, colour, vector graphics, moving at such a high speed is absolutely, you know, awe-inspiring to watch someone really good play that game. And you can play it obviously now on the Vectfever cart. Maybe, I don't know if it's on the Pytrex yet, but it plays really well on the Vectfever, and there are plenty of people making dedicated controllers for it. This is probably not the best one to get. I have had better versions for playing Tempest on. In fact, I've had one with all the Tempest artwork on and a really cool, almost like an Atari spinner. But I sold that because I own the original arcade machine, so I rarely go and play Tempest on the Vectfever cart. But this works perfectly well enough. In fact, I've had some of my best scores playing this spinner controller. Really, really cool. So it can be done. And I think there are other games you can play, like Amiga Race plays pretty well with a spinner. So there's other options as well you can use this for. So definitely worth getting. As I say, this is probably the cheapest option, but there are other guys on the Vectrex Fans Unite Facebook page that are making some beautifully designed controllers specifically for Tempest. Super cool game, one of my favourite games of all time. When I first saw Tempest running on the Vectrex, I was absolutely blown away. I just could not believe this 40-year-old console was running an arcade ROM. But it's true, and it's all down to this, the Vectfever cart. Extremely hard to come by. In fact, the last one I saw sell on an online auction, it went for over £2,000. And it's because you can design games for the Vectrex with this. But not only that, and what I'm interested in, is the arcade ROMs. It runs the arcade games that were released by all those fantastic companies from back in the day, like Sega Gremlin, Atari and Cinematronics. So what you're about to see is a list of all those games on this cart, and it is incredible. We are now in the menu for all the arcade ROMs on the Vectfever cart, and we'll go through them quickly because we won't be able to play all these games. There are so many on this cart, it's unbelievable. So we've got Atari, we've got Bomb Jack, we've got Cinematronics, Konami, Namco, Amiga Race, Rockola games, which is incredible. I didn't even know Rockola made vector games, but they did. Sega, and then one on its own, Vector Kong, which I'm going to show you first because this can't be Donkey Kong, can it? It's got to be a bootleg. No, it's not. It is the original arcade ROM of Donkey Kong. It's even got the Nintendo of America logo at the bottom, which we're about to play. Now, all the sounds are not quite there, but the gameplay is. The gameplay is 100% Donkey Kong, right down to controlling the barrels if you want to control the barrels on the later levels. Let's see if I can get to the top. Oh my god. Yep, I can control the barrel, but I didn't control that one. I got hit. But the game plays there. It plays exactly the same as the arcade ROM, which is absolutely incredible. The next game I want to show you is by Atari. And look at the list of Atari games in here. Aliens, Alpha 1, which is Major Havoc. You've got different games here, different revisions of Asteriods and Asteriods Deluxe. Battlezone, which we're going to come back to. But it's this one here I'm interested in showing you, Black Widow, because this is a twin stick shooter, very similar to Robotron and Rescue. And it's a game that I only discovered, about 15 years ago? It's an incredible game. It is a colour vector game, so we're not going to get the full experience. We haven't got a colour Vectrex monitor, but still, we can play this horizontally. So what I'm going to do now is flip the Vectrex on its side so you can see me playing Black Widow in the horizontal mode. Now, to put the Vectrex in horizontal mode is quite a delicate operation, and I do recommend turning the machine off when you do this. And I do, as it happens, have a dedicated stand which was 3D printed by a good friend of mine, and this really helps support the Vectrex and give it a better viewing platform to play your games on. Once the Vectrex is safely in its position, I can turn it on. Then all I've got to do is go into the menu system and set the orientation to horizontal mode. It's not often you see a Vectrex lying on its back like this, but it is super cool, especially with a Vectfever cart flashing there at the top, letting you know that it's operating perfectly. You're probably wondering what all these are, all these leads here. Well, they're basically just extension cables that I've brought just to make it easier for me plugging in the controllers, because I do find the ports here, it's quite a dark area, especially when it's standing upright, to see where the holes are and whether you've got the pin out round the right way. So I just bought these extension leads because I do change the controllers in and out quite a lot. It just makes it a lot easier. This here is the Atari Vox, which gives you synthesized speech. A lot of the homebrew games have that now, as well as some of the hacks for some of the arcade ROMs, arcade games on the Vectrex. So that's definitely worth having. But I think you do need to have the audio tap, or at least the buzz-off kit for that to work. And this lead here, this is basically for the UV light. So this is a UV frame that's going around the outside of the Vectrex. It was developed by Jim Watt. You plug that in and then it lights up. It's not doing a lot at the moment, but you need a reflective UV overlay. And that goes in there like that, and then it really does come into its own. I have got probably around 50 different types of UV overlays, and they've all got their different uses. This actually works really well, but what's missing now is just the controller, which I have. This is a twin stick controller developed by my good friend Victor Marland. He develops a lot of controllers for the Vectrex. It's not analog, but it works perfectly well with Black Widow. Super cool. So we're going to fire this up now, dim the lights, and give you a little bit of Atari's classic game, Black Widow. Right, this is probably up there with one of my favourite games from Atari. If you ever get a chance to play it in arcade, do it, because it is absolutely amazing. It's like a lot of later games by Atari where you can actually select the difficulty level that you start on. I like that. It means you don't have to start from the beginning every time. If you're quite an experienced player, you want to get straight into the action. But I'm not that experienced. I haven't played for a while, so I'm going to start right from the beginning. And the basic gameplay is to just kill all the bugs basically in your web, but pick up the bonus points that they leave behind. Sometimes they leave like a dead body laying around in the web, which you can push out of the web. If you don't do it quick enough, it will come back to life. And then slowly over time, you see I can push that egg, it's probably an egg actually, yeah, push the egg out. You can push it from to the outer rims, or you can push it into the middle. I think we've got a bonus stage now. Lovely little bonus stage to get all of those. A lot of the bugs do different things. The further you get into the game, some actually explode, and you've got to watch out for the explosion because you can get caught in the middle of it. So these, once they reanimate, these bugs are quite difficult to kill. You can only push them back and they just keep attacking you. But it's a lovely little game. And to have this on the Vectrex is absolutely awesome. So we've got all those. And they start building little webs around the side. Another bonus stage. There we go, lovely. Now we've got the exploding ones. What they do is they destroy everything within the rings around them. The enemies and you. So you have to just be really careful when you shoot them, that you're not in the vicinity, like I was there and got killed. But a fantastic little game and works really well with these twin sticks. Ah, got hit again. That's it, game over. Fantastic, on to the next. Right, moving on guys to our next game, but we're keeping it Atari and we're keeping it horizontal. It is Atari's Lunar Lander. A little bit earlier, I think this game came out in 1978, but oh my God, when this arcade machine came on the scene, it was incredible, absolutely unbelievable. If you grew up in the 70s like I did, you love space, you know, because it wasn't long after the lunar landings of Apollo 11, and everything to do with space we absolutely love. I remember having a huge space Lego set. Loved Space 1999 and all those early space Star Wars 1977. So everything to do with space we absolutely loved. So to go up to an arcade machine where you could actually experience trying to land a spacecraft was something else. We'd never seen that before. It was always been shooting aliens on the screen, but now we had an arcade game that attempts to land one of the Apollo ships on the moon's surface. But what was unique about this game was its controller, and no other game's done it since. You had thrust, lots of variations, gravity type games like Gravatar, you know, Space Duel, all those kind of things, and thrust on the Spectrum. But no one's really attempted to do the thrust controller like Atari did with Lunar Lander, until my good friend Sean Farragon came along and started designing his own unique controllers for the Vectrex, and this is just one of them. This one I got what was it, a couple of months ago now, and it is the Lunar Lander controller, which is absolutely awesome. It's got some lovely feedback. Look at that. Look at the feedback on that controller. So you get a real sense of the inertia of the spaceship, how much to thrust, how much power to put in those engines as you're trying to attempt to land the Apollo ship. It's an awesome game, and it makes all the difference having this, because this is how I remember playing it back in the day, so I had to get this. So we're going to fire this up, guys. We're also going to put a little bit of lunar surface on the overlay. There we go, just to keep it a little bit more authentic, so we look like we're trying to land on the moon. And then we're going to attempt to land the Apollo 11 with this controller. This is an awesome bit of kit. I mean, just the workmanship that's gone into this is absolutely incredible, right down to the cone shaped buttons, the Atari shaped buttons, and the little gold switches that look like they've just literally come off the spaceship, because everything was that copper gold look, wasn't it, on those early spaceships. But yeah, even the shape of it is so 70s. These buttons on the back here are just used to go through the menu, navigate the menu. Yes, awesome, awesome. So we're going to fire this up and see if we can attempt to land our Apollo spaceship. I love the overlay for this game. It works perfectly. Gives you a bit of the Pepper's Ghost effect, as well as giving you the atmosphere, the environment that you're playing the game in. Right, I'm going to attempt to land this ship. It's been a while. The trick to this game is not to use that much fuel, because you only have a certain amount of fuel. I think it's 750, and then once all that's used up, the game is over. But all I'm going to try and do for this video is just land it once. That's all I want to do. So what we want to do is try and let the inertia of the ship, the forward motion of the ship, do most of the work without using any fuel. And I'm going to try and land it on that tiny little space there where it says it's got the multiplier by 5. It's a tiny little landing spot. So try trying to slow the ship down. As soon as I get near the environment, it will zoom in. It's just slowly easing off the thruster. That is going to be one hell of a perfect landing. Yes, 250 points. That is the maximum amount you can get for landing this ship. I'll try it one more time, and I'm going to try and land it again on the 5 multiplier on the side of the cliff there. Of course, you can go for the easier options where it's got less of a multiplier, two multiplier. Oh, he just got over that cliff. Slow it right down. Lining up well. That's the great thing about this controller. You can just give it a tiny little bit amount and then a little bit more at the end. Oh, another 250 points. That is excellent. We've got 500 points. This is such a good game. I don't want to stop playing because it is so good. I'm going to go for the next one again, another 5 multiplier. See if I can get that. How much fuel have I got? I've got 500 fuel left. The atmosphere in this room is very tense, guys, and the sound effects coming out my speakers, something else. Oh, we got 250 points again. That's 750 points. I'm going to keep going. I'm on a roll here. I don't think I've ever played this well before. We can only really go for the 2 multiplier, maybe the 5. I'm going to have to get across this mountain first. Running out of fuel. Is he going to do it? I don't think he is. Oh, he's right on the side of the cliff face. Got 50 fuel left and I'm coming in heavy. He's not going to do it. Oh, 10 points. Awesome game. Sean has done an incredible job of that Lunar Lander, but you know what? He didn't stop there. After he created Atari's Lunar Lander controller for the Vectrex, he wanted to do more. He wanted to go on to make more unique, dedicated controllers for the Vectrex. And I couldn't believe it when he said he was going to be making Atari's Battlezone. I just thought it just cannot be done. And I followed the whole process of him building it. He kept posting on the Vectrex Fans Unite Facebook page his progress. And I just kept saying to him, surely, Sean, that's going to move about because you need a lot of effort. If you ever played Atari's Battlezone, it's 2 sticks. You need a lot of effort to move the tank around. And sometimes you can overcook it, pushing it too hard. And I just thought a little controller for the Vectrex for a game like that, it's just not going to work. You're going to be moving it all around in desperation, trying to get out of sticky situations. But he's done it, guys. He's done it. He's made an incredible arcade stick for the Vectrex. Look at this. Now, I've owned a Battlezone Cabaret, and I've owned a full-size upright and know exactly how the controllers feel. And this is perfect. Absolutely perfect. It's got the size just right. They've got the fire buttons on top. It's got a little LED display here that lights up. I'll show you when it's plugged in. And it is multi-format, this. So you can plug this into a PC, so if you wanted to play Battlezone in MAME, or if you want to play Battlezone 2, which is an incredible game, you can use this to play that game through your PC. So not only does it play on the Vectrex, it plays on the PC as well, which I think is the way to go. Because, you know, I think a lot of the ROMs for a lot of the Vectrex games you can play through your PC. So if you don't own a Vectrex, you can still experience Battlezone through that, which is incredible. It's so well made, so well built. It's even got these suckers here at the bottom that hold it in place, which is ideal for me. These do actually come off, so you don't have to have the suckers on there. You can just have these little rubber feet. But as I'm using this on my Nintendo Space Firebird Cocktail, which has a glass top, this is perfect. These sucker onto the glass really well and keeps it really sturdy, and that's what I was afraid it wouldn't do. It wouldn't be sturdy enough, but this is rock solid, guys. So we're going to fire this beautiful arcade controller up and have a go at Atari's Battlezone. Now, before we play Battlezone, we just need to set this up so we've got the right configuration with the Vectfever. As I said to you earlier, this is multi-format, so this will play on your PC as well. So we just need to change it from, it's on at the moment, it's on Vectrex for a Staramash Zone, which is the homebrew game of Battlezone, so you can play that version. You don't have to have a Vectfever to play Battlezone. You can play the Staramash version on the Vectrex, but we're going to change that to Vectfever. See, it lights up there in the little display. So now it's configured to playing Battlezone on the Vectrex on the Vectfever cart. Love the little flashing light there, nice little touch. Right, it's been a while. Last time I played Battlezone was actually on a cabinet. I've taken the overlay off. I think Battlezone works best with no overlay to give you that nice monochrome look that you remember from back in the day. There's my top scores, 28,000. See if I can beat that. First one out of the way. It's lining yourself up. Got that through the pyramid. Nice, 3,000 points. No, he's got me. You've got to be quick. You've got the radar at the top of the screen there. So you can see where they're about to appear. There's one to my right, but I'm going to leave that one. 9 times out of 10, if I turn around to get that, he will get me. So I'm just going to leg it out of the area and see if I can find an easy one to get. Like this flying saucer for extra bonus points. Oh, just missed him. We got him. Oh, here we go. These are quite tricky to get because they're so fast. Used to scare the life out of me when I was a kid because they used to come on the screen without you knowing. Here we go. Oh. No, I'm dead. He's got me. I didn't see that one. Got that one. 13,000. No, he got me. I'm out. 13,000. One more go. Not my best. The controllers feel absolutely perfect, Sean. Really, really cool controllers. Love it. It makes all the difference when you're playing this game. Full concentration here, guys. Oh, I missed him. Oh, he's hit me. He's trying to ram me. He's trying to ram me off the road. He ended up shooting me. Got him. 5,000 points. Oh, he just got me. So tense. It's such a tense game, this. Always has been. So daunting to walk up to in the arcade because it was so big. Got someone to the left of me. I'm going to try and manoeuvre around and get him if I can. Oh, he's got me. What a game. I've got to give it one more go. 3 goes. Because it's so cool. keep moving. Oh man. No, he's got me. No, oh, I just couldn't get out of the way in time. Ah, oh, backed into that one. So cool, Sean. I love this controller. I do need a lot more practice. I'm not very good. Now, moving on to probably one of my favourite Atari cabinets ever made is Atari's Asteriods Deluxe. Fantastic game. I've owned the cabinet in the past, and you know what, guys, I miss it. I really do miss it. It's such a beautiful cabinet. It's got beautiful side art. It's got the half mirror and the black light and the UV reflective asteroids. And the game looks like it's floating on the screen, almost like you're looking into a fish tank. It's almost hypnotic. Do you know what I mean? It's no other game like it. It's absolutely incredible. In fact, when I had it at the museum, all the young kids used to come up to it and just absolutely blown away by how do they do that? And it's like, well, that's what we asked when we were your age. How do they do that? It's called the Pepper's Ghost effect. It's really, really cool. It's an old Victorian trick of creating an illusion with a half mirror. Now, I can kind of do that with the Vectrex, believe it or not, because I do have a half mirror and I can create the illusion of Pepper's Ghost, which I'll try and show you, but it doesn't come up that well on camera. But what I'm going to show you first is the controller. So this was another controller designed by Victor Marland. Beautiful controller, ideal for playing Asteroids and Asteroids Deluxe, and Thrust, and Space Duel, Gravatar. You can use this controller for lots of different things. It's got two buttons there to navigate the menu, and the control button layout is exactly like Asteroids. It's an awesome controller. So keeping it horizontal, we are going to put in a UV overlay for this one. And I'll try after this, see if I can show you the Pepper's Ghost effect. It's not easy because it doesn't show up that well on camera. But that kind of gives you an idea. It's not brilliant, that, to be honest with you, because the graphics really need to be floating on top of the rocks, not behind it, as it is at the moment. So we'll have a fiddle around with that, see if I can get a better setup, and we'll come back to it, and I'll just show you how well it plays on this awesome controller. Right. Right, even though that looks kind of cool, it's wrong because the UV artwork's in the wrong place. The UV artwork should be behind the vectors and the vectors in front, so it looks like they're floating across the asteroids. But unfortunately, this doesn't work. So we're going to take this off, take the UV overlay out, take the frame off. This is just velcroed onto the side of the Vectrex. There you can see the UV LEDs. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put this screen over the top. This is just stuck on with some little bits of, I don't know, sticky gum, looks like. And then we're going to put a half mirror in front of the screen, like so. Let's stay there. Yep, just about. And then attach the UV reflective frame to the Vectrex, if it will stay. And I don't know if you can see that. It's not actually, that's actually come away. So we need to, oh no, it's on there okay. That's all right. Let's put that back on. There we go. And I don't know if you can see that, guys. And let's zoom you right in. Let's turn the lights right down, see if we can get this effect properly. Now, I'm not sure whether this is coming out on the camera. What is coming out on the camera is this kind of splodgy area down the bottom, and that's because the half mirror's got scratched at some point, unfortunately. But see if you can take your eyes away from that, and let's fire up this classic arcade game. Does it look like it's floating? Because to me, with the naked eye, the graphics are floating sort of halfway between the frame and the actual monitor. So it's kind of given a completely different effect. Pepper's Ghost effect for sure. I love this game. I absolutely love this game. I really miss this. Do you know what I like about it? It's the aliens that come in here. You have to be quite tactful in how you defeat them. So what I do, sort of fly around them and slowly pick each one off. There we go. And they come back again. Awesome game. Absolutely awesome game. And having this on the Vectrex arcade ROM with the proper controller, you know, it saves a lot of space, guys. It really does. But how cool does that look? In the end, I went back to just a normal UV overlay with the moon landscape, which I think looks awesome. And the differences between Asteriods Deluxe and Asteriods is basically you've got a shield button instead of a hyperspace button, which I think makes all the difference. Because the hyperspace didn't always work. It's a bit like the hyperspace on Defender. It only works on a certain amount of times. And you can use the shield to bump off asteroids, if I can show you. Well, let's shoot these aliens, and I'll show you what I mean. Oh, I got crushed in amongst them all. Let's try it again. Right, so they're going to follow me. Right, and then if I press that, you can bounce off them. Keep bouncing off them until you get crushed again. Right, let's try it one more time. Right, here we go. Watch how I bounce. And then you keep shoot, bounce, shoot, and there, that's how you do it. Awesome game. Love the sound effects. You just can't appreciate on this video the sound effects in this room coming through my speakers. I've got 4 speakers in this room, and it's so loud, but I love it. It's just like being in the arcade. Fantastic game. Now, before I show you my last game, which I'm going to pick, and its controller, and it's very difficult to choose because there's so many great games, I want to say a huge thank you to the Vectrex community, because you're all doing such an amazing job. From everyone that's designing new games, new controllers, new overlays, to people even designing the buzz-off kit, the audio tap, the UV frame. It's such a thriving community. You've given this old system a whole new lease of life. It's like the Phoenix reborn, and it is one of my favourite consoles in my collection, because not only can I play all these fantastic arcade games without having to own the cabinet, it's got a thriving homebrew community making some fantastic games and controllers, and it's an amazing experience. It really is. So I've got to say a huge thank you to Sean. If you want to buy this controller or any of Sean's controllers, I'll put a link in this video below. They aren't cheap, guys. He doesn't do this for a living. It is a hobby, and a lot goes into making this, as you can imagine. You know, it's all 3D printed. There's a lot of mechanics going on inside and electronics, so it's not cheap. But if you think about what it's saving you from buying the actual cabinet, it's a hell of a lot cheaper, and it's saving you a lot of space. So I think this is a fantastic way to go, especially for someone like me who loves that whole golden era of arcade games. So look out in the link below to buy Sean's controllers. There is a Vectrex Mini apparently being released. I don't know whether it's the end of this year or beginning of next. I'm not a fan of it, to be honest with you. The size doesn't bother me. Apparently it's going to be a lot smaller than the Vectrex, but it's just a flat screen in a casing. To me, the Vectrex is all about the vector glow. Now, I don't know if you saw in some of those games I was playing earlier, you can see a trace, a vector trace, and that's the kind of hypnotizing thing I like about the Vectrex, is its glow. You can't beat that. If you want to play Vectrex games without owning the Vectrex, I know they are expensive, you can emulate the games. And that's almost what the Vectrex Mini is doing, emulating on a flat screen. I don't get it, personally. But I get it is expensive, but you're better off just emulating on a PC. And then you can probably buy Sean's controller and play Battlezone and Battlezone 2 as well. So for me, that would be the way to go if you can't afford a Vectrex. So now we are going to pick a game, and I have picked Vyrzon. Vyrzon for me, it's just an incredible game. I met the designer a couple of years ago, and he actually created his own cabinet, beautifully shaped cabinet, very similar to what Sega was doing in the early 80s. They made a cabinet called the Trimline, and he made this cabinet and he brought it along to a meet, and we all were gobsmacked at how good this game was. It's got the perfect risk-reward element, which makes for a great arcade game. And for me, it has probably been one of the best arcade games or homebrew games that's been released in the last 10 years. I absolutely love it. I love the sound effects and everything about it. So that's what we're going to go out to. But I'm just going to show you before we go out to that, the controller. This is another controller made by Vectrex. It's a lovely arcade controller. Got a nice clicky sound. Love the sort of Neo Geo Lord's Vale button layout, which is really cool. Not that I'm going to be playing Fatal Fury on it. But he has made another one, and I've put it down. Where is it? There it is. This one here just has the straight lace button layout, but this is analog, so it's very similar to the original controller, which I quite like as well. And it's got the lovely Vectrex logo. So that's really nice. There's loads of different options you can get. So many different controllers. I absolutely love it. And let's not forget the stand. The stand, if you want to 3D print this off, so you can have your Vectrex laid out horizontally, which I think is super cool. Just makes the most of those horizontal games. So let's go out, guys. Thanks for watching. Let's go out to Vyrzon, probably one of my favourite homebrew games that's been released in the last 10 years or so. It's absolutely awesome. Check this out, guys. Taking that atmosphere, guys, the sound effects, the way they're weaving in and out. So cool. Now, this game may look quite simple when you first play it, but actually there's a lot of depth to this game. And this is what makes this game so good. It's got the perfect risk-reward element to it. It's a basic shooter, very similar to Astro Blaster, where you've got to be very direct with your shots. But also you've got like a dodge button, which you've only got 3 of. So if you find yourself you're going to get hit, just hit that dodge button, your ship will weave out the way. The second option you've got is like a button that's like a smart bomb. It kills everything on the screen. It'll just shoot loads of lasers at everything, destroy everything. But you can also get a special power-up. Get to a point in the game where you get to an asteroids field, and if you fly close to the asteroids, you can build up a shield meter, which once it's max out, it almost gives you like another life. So there's loads to this game. There's a lot of depth to this game. A lot of the enemies do different things, and it's quite hard working out the patterns to a lot of them. It's such a cool game. I'm just going to play it now, guys, and you take it in. Just watch this. It's just so cool. basic aliens going from left to right. Try and get the big ship across the top, because eventually they will drop power-ups, which you want. So you can shoot bigger bullets at the enemies. Next wave. Just missed him. Next wave. They all get different as you go further into the game. Oh, missed him again. The one in the centre there takes a few shots to kill. See if I can get that one at the top. Missed him again. This is on normal difficulty. Right, got that one. This joystick is just perfect. It really is. Such a lovely arcade stick, Vic. So we're getting points, bonuses, shots, hits. Still got 3 lives. Still got all my power-ups. Oh, let's get him. Got him. Oh, nearly got hit. Got him. Now, if you shoot enough of those big ships, they will drop something, but you've got to be quick to pick it up. Hasn't dropped anything yet. Just love the sound effects are just incredible. There's no other game like it. Got him. Oh, he's missing him. Got that out of the way. We've got another bonus stage now, I think. Stay sector 2 done. Oh, this is skin the asteroids. So what we've got to do is get as close to them as possible, and you'll see a meter, or you can hear that meter even, slowly building up the closer we get to them. If I can max it out, I'll get a shield carried over to the next sector. Oh. Still not there. So difficult. Oh, I got hit. Didn't do it. Damn. It's so difficult. I've got to start from the beginning again. Oh, man. I'm losing so many lives here. Oh, well, I'm pressing the wrong button. Let's just shoot that. That's a shame. I mucked that right up. For some reason in my head, I thought I could slow it down. I'm thinking of a different game. But we're still in the game. We've still got, well, this is my last life. The overlay works perfectly with this game as well. That's it, guys. Game over. That's a good 6 minutes of gameplay. But as you can see, it is absolutely awesome. Now, before we go, guys, I just want to show you some of my other favourite games in my collection. And you know what? They're all homebrew games, and this is what I love about the Vectrex. If you own a Vectrex, you've got to have these. They're an absolute must. Vector Patrol, an awesome port of Moon Patrol, and it is brilliant. And I'm not a huge fan of Moon Patrol, the arcade, but I love this, especially when you put the overlay on it. It adds a whole new dimension to the game. It's really, really cool. And these come in some fantastic boxes. Really, really good game. This is by the same guy as well. What is his name? Christoph. Vector Pilot. This is arcade perfect, guys. It's absolutely brilliant. In fact, it's even better than the arcade. It's got some added bonuses to it. Super cool sound effects, especially when you plug this into your hi-fi. It's really, really cool. Vector Blade. A very deep shooter on the Vectrex with a shop. You can go and buy stuff in, upgrade your ship. It's got synthesized speech, which we didn't show today, unfortunately, but yeah, this game is absolutely awesome. This is up there in one of my favourite games for the Vectrex. Vector Blade, very cool indeed. And then we've got Hera Primera, which is kind of like a port of Konami's Juno First. It's not as good, but it's still a fantastic homebrew and a good attempt at Juno First. Really good game. And from my good friend Chris CMP, Frontier, which is kind of like a remake of Nintendo Sheriff, one of my beloved arcade games I had for many years. This is a great attempt at recreating Sheriff on the Vectrex, which is absolutely awesome. So I guess what I'm missing now, from my controllers at least, is the Star Wars yoke. I haven't got that. Otherwise, it would be a complete collection. I guess is there any other games? You could say maybe Major Havoc has a unique controller. If you can think of any other controllers, guys, let me know. But I think I've pretty much got it, except for the Star Wars yoke, and then I've got everything I need to play all those fantastic arcade games. But that's it for this week's video, guys. It's been a long one. It's been actually quite difficult to film this one because of the light, trying to capture the Vectrex on screen. So give us the thumbs up if you did enjoy this video, and I'll see you on the next one.